something unexpected happened. The kind of moment that doesn't just shake the music world, it redefines it. It was late, one of those quiet nights when everything feels still. And then suddenly, phones lit up, notifications exploded, and a single headline sent shockwaves across the globe. Because Jungkook, yes, that Jungkook, had just crossed a milestone so enormous it felt impossible even by his standards. Not 1 billion, not 10 billion, but 19 billion on-demand audio streams. 19 billion. The number almost feels unreal, like it should belong to an entire music label, not one 27-year-old artist standing on his own. But that's exactly what happened. Jungkook became the first K-pop solo artist and the fastest Asian artist ever to reach that number. And the craziest part? He did it in just 8 months after hitting 16 billion. 8 months to add 3 billion more streams. That's not growth, that's a tidal wave. He didn't just break the record, he shattered it, rebuilt it, and then placed his name on it in glowing, permanent ink. But the story only gets deeper. To understand how powerful this moment is, you have to go back to 2023, to the release of 7, a song that didn't walk onto the charts, it exploded onto them. From the very first day, 7 was everywhere. Cafes, gyms, airports, TikTok. It spread like a spark, catching every corner of the world. And today, 7 has done the unthinkable. 2.63 billion streams on Spotify, 1.1 billion streams on YouTube, music, 567 million views on its official music video, 150 million plus on its audio version, 121 weeks on Billboard's Global Excl US, 120 weeks on Global 200. Even 2 years and 4 months after release, it refuses to slow down. Most songs fade in weeks, months if they're lucky. But 7? It's become one of the longest charting global hits from any Asian solo artist in history. That's not a song, that's a phenomenon. But that's just one piece of Jungkook's universe. His Spotify account alone, just his solo work, has gathered 9.9 billion streams faster than any Asian act ever. 4 of his songs have crossed 1 billion streams each. 7, Left and Right, Standing Next to You, 3D. This has never happened for an Asian solo singer. Not once. On YouTube Music, Jungkook has become a category of his own. 9 tracks with over 100 million plays, 5 tracks with over 400 million, and Left and Right surpassing 637 million alone. Everywhere you look, Spotify, YouTube, Billboard, the numbers aren't just high, they're historic. And then comes Billboard, the final piece. When the Billboard Global Charts updated on November 15th, something unbelievable showed up. 7, released in 2023, was still charting, still climbing, still refusing to die. 160th on the Global 200, 80th on Global Excl, US 121 consecutive weeks charting. This achievement, the longest-running charting streak ever for an Asian solo artist, is the kind of record you read about decades later in documentaries. And don't forget, he already made Billboard history by being the first solo artist to have 3 or more songs, 7, Standing Next to You, 3D, top the Global 200 and Global Excl US in the same year. And before that, 7 debuted at number 1 on the Hot 100 and stayed for 15 weeks, a debut that felt like an explosion. Billboard crowned him number 1 on the 2024 K-Pop Artist 100, one of the greatest pop stars of 2023. He's no longer just competing in K-pop. He's competing in pop, worldwide, and winning. So here we are, a young man from Busan, standing alone as a solo artist, outperforming entire industries, breaking records faster than charts can update them, turning every release into a global moment. His music isn't just streamed, it's lived with, shared, obsessed over, played 1,000 times on repeat without ever getting old. Something unexpected happened, but maybe, with Jungkook, the truth is this: the world should start expecting miracles, because he keeps delivering them.